What's up everyone, it's Bones here. In today's video, we'll be making a quick stop at our game's favorite planetary system as we continue our journey through Age of Overlords. But first, if you're a fan of in-depth combo videos, new set coverage, and occasional fun stuff that we like to do on the channel, destroy those thumbs up and subscribe buttons to set yourself up for a couple of different ways to turn skip. Now, the first card that we have here is Visa Samsara. It is a light fairy level 4 with 1500 attack, 2100 defense, and this card's name becomes Visa Starfrost while on the field or in the graveyard. You can target any number of Visas monsters that are banished in your graveyard and or in your field, shuffle those Visas monsters into the deck, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand. And if you do that, it gains 400 attack for each monster you shuffled with a different original name. You can only use this effect of Visa Samsara once per turn. If this card you control would be used as synchro material, you can treat it as a non-tuner. This is all great stuff here except the fact that it's not a warrior. But that said, we're going to start here by normal summoning the Visa Samsara, and I will be showcasing a couple of different combos that you can do with just Visa Samsara. There will be options that you will have to make in regards to your extra deck choices, but we're going to get ourselves the Reichphobia. We'll then be able to activate the Reichphobia. We'll then be able to get ourselves the right card, special summon out the right card, which will be able to nab us the Arrival, and now we can activate the Arrival, which will get us back to Visa Samsara, and now we have access to a Synchro 8. We also have access into a rank 4, but we're going to continue here by going into our Cross Sheep. We'll then activate the effect of the Lightheart, which will be able to special summon it, and then we'll go into our Appaloosa to end our turn on this. So do keep in mind that depending on what the rest of your hand is, you will be able to extend further from here. As you can see, I summon out the Vicious Astrolaud using the Reichheart and the Visa Samsara in the Banish Zone. But with that, I'll take you on to the next one. For this second combo, and this will be the second iteration of just Visa Samsara, and we're going to go into our Lightheart, activate the Lightheart, get ourselves the Reichphobia, activate the Reichphobia to get ourselves access into the Reichheart, and then we can special summon ourselves the Reichheart to get ourselves the Arrival. We'll then be able to activate the Arrival. We'll be able to Synchro 8 again, as we're going to go into our Scarred Red Dragon Archfiend, and now we can go into our SP Little Knight instead of the Cross Sheep, because as you saw, we don't have any other level 4 or lowers that we can special summon with Cross Sheep, because we end up banishing them for the Vicious Astrolaud. But what we can do here is bring out the Red Dragon Archfiend off of the Scarred, go into our Vicious Astrolaud, and then we can go into our Hope Harbinger. Now, do keep in mind that if you want to get fun with it and just play a bunch of wacky combo stuff with a bunch of bricks, the level 8 that you make can vary. You can make stuff like Diabolantis in order to go into a Bish Balkan by turning it into a tuner, and I just didn't want to focus too hard on that because it plays a lot of bricks, but it still is worth mentioning for those who may want to try something new. Now, for our next combo, and I want to feature another big card that we'll be getting, in my opinion, in this set for this deck, and you'll see that I have a Dark Rabbit and Assault Synchron, and all you need is access into a level 6 Synchro. So we're going to special summon out the Assault Synchron, and now we're going to go into our Mannadium Triscuta, I think it's called, and it takes 1 tuner plus 1 non-tuner monsters. If this card is Synchro summoned, you can target 1 level 2 tuner in your graveyard, special summon it, but negate its effects. You can target any number of tuners you control, change their level to 2. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except Synchro monsters. You can only use each effect of Mannadium Triscuta once per turn. Now we're going to use its effect in order to bring back the Assault Synchron, and now we can Synchro 8 into our Visas Amritara, use the effect of the Amritara, which will be able to get ourselves the Calarium. We'll now activate the Calarium, as this will be able to nab us the Meek, and now we can special summon out the Meek, as we'll be able to use the effect of the Visas Samsara, or the Visas Amritara, in order to pop the Meek, and then use the Calarium along with the Meek so that we can get 2 more bodies on board, as we're going to turn one of them into level 4, I believe, as we go into our Lightheart, using the Amritara so that we can get ourselves the Reichphobia. We'll then be able to activate the Reichphobia, use its effect in order to get ourselves the Reichheart, special summon out the Reichheart. We'll be able to get the Search plus the Draw here, as we'll then be able to go into our Axel, use the effect of the Axel in order to get access into our Baron. we'll then be able to activate the Arrival to bring back the Reichart, and then we'll be able to activate the Baron. We'll pop the Meek, as we'll get the effect of the Meek in order to bring out another copy of it and change it to level 4 so that we can go into our Abyss Dweller. Now, I only show this way because if you are playing some sort of pile deck, you may not be playing the full Visa set. In the next couple of combos, I will be showing what to do when actually playing Mannadium. So for the second iteration of this combo, we have Samsara plus Assault Synchron or any other level tuner, and we'll go into our Lightheart, use the effect of Lightheart to get our Reichphobia. Reichphobia can get ourselves the Scareclaw Reichheart. We'll then special summon out the Reichheart, as we'll be able to use its effect for the Search of the Arrival, then special summon out the Assault Synchron. We'll then be able to go into our Triscuta, as we're going to use the effect of the Triscuta so that we can get the access into the Amritara. We'll then be able to use the effect of the Amritara in order to get ourselves the Calarium, activate the Calarium, which will be able to get ourselves the Meek, and then we'll special summon out the Meek, as we're going to use the Amritara, use the effect of the Meek and the Calarium so that we can get ourselves the 2 extra bodies on board. We'll now get ourselves 2 copies of Meek, as one of them is going to be level 4. Use the effect of the Scareclaw Arrival, bring back the Samsara, as we can then go into our Axel. I just wanted to show that real quick. You can bring back the Samsara, treat it as a non-tuner if you happen to forget that already, and then go into your Axel here, as we're going to bring back the Assault Synchron, and then go into our Baron, use the effect of the Baron, popping the Meek, and then we'll use the effect of the Meek in order to bring out another copy of it so that we can change it to level 4, go into our Cross Sheep, as we'll summon out the Vicious, use the effect of the Cross Sheep to bring back the Meek, as we'll then go into our Crimson Dragon, use the effect of the Crimson Dragon. We're going to use its Search effect along with the Tag Out effect, and we're going to get ourselves into another new card that we can now search off of Crimson Dragon post Age of the Overlord. It's called Synchro Rumble. It reads target 1 tuner or 1 level 7 or 8 dragon synchro monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position. Also, for the rest of this turn after this card resolves, you cannot special summon from the extra deck except synchro monsters. If a level 7 or 8 dragon synchro monsters or Crimson Dragon you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. You can only activate 1 Synchro Rumble per turn. So I know that some lists play 2 Reichphobia, 2 Arrival and stuff like that, and if you've ever been looking for space to cut one of those if you wanted to play them at 1, then this is another cool choice that becomes available post Age of the Overlords, as we're going to use the effect of the Dispatter to bring back the Samsara. We'll then use the effect of the Lightheart in our graveyard, since we do happen to have the Visas on field with the effect of the Samsara. We'll then be able to go into our Apo, as we're going to get 3 extra monster negations off of that, activate the Synchro Rumble, bringing back the Axel, and this will give us access into another level 10 Synchro as we go into our Chengying and end our turn on this. Now finally, for the final iteration of this combo, we have Visa Samsara plus Meek. I'm showing them in this order because they change a lot depending on what you have, and they just get nuttier depending on what you're playing, but you're going to then go into your Lightheart off of the Samsara, use the effect of the Lightheart to get the Reichphobia, activate the Reichphobia, get yourself into the Reichheart. We'll then be able to special summon out the Reichheart, use its effect for the Arrival, and then we'll be able to special summon out the Meek, go into our Triscuta, use the effect of the Triscuta to bring back the Meek, and then we'll go into our Amritara, use the effect of the Amritara, as we'll be able to add ourselves the Calarium, and then we'll be able to activate the Calarium in order to get ourselves a search for the Heart. Now, we'll be able to activate the Arrival to get back the Reichheart, and then we'll be able to go into our Cross Sheep, as we'll go into our Vicious, use the effect of Cross Sheep, which will be able to bring back the Meek, activate the Heart, as we'll then be able to special summon out the Heart. We'll then be able to get ourselves the effect of the Meek and the Calarium, and now this is where I want to show that I am going to deviate, as we're going to get the Mannadium reframing off of the Amritara. We're going to get ourselves the Meek along with the level 4 Meek that we can special summon out of the deck, but more importantly, what I want to talk about is this is a level 4, it's just showing level 2 right now. But now you can start going into your Crimson Dragon plays if you would like to. This is a level 4 and this is a level 8 tuner. This is a level 4 tuner. This is a level 8 non-tuner. So this is your Crimson Dragon plus your whatever level 12 you want to go into for the Hot Red King Calamity. And that's the first turn skip that I was talking about. But this is not the board that we are going to actually go for, as we're going to go for that Axel. Use its effect in order to bring back the Meek. Go into the Baron. Use the effect of the Amritara, popping the Meek. Meek, and then we'll be able to use the Meek in order to get the special summon of another one so that we can make it level 4, go into the Crimson Dragon, use the effect of the Crimson Dragon. We'll be getting the Search along with the Tag Out effect for the Dispatter, get ourselves the Synchro Rumble, as we'll be able to special summon back out the Lightheart, and then go into our Appaloosa, as we'll use the effect of the Dispatter to bring back Reichheart, activate the Synchro Rumble to bring back the Triscuta, and this gives us access into a level 10 Synchro this way. Then we can set our reframing and end our turn on that. For this next combo, I do want to show a couple of iterations with generic extenders, and we are going to start here with Samsara plus Magnahut or any other Bestial, and we're going to go into our Lightheart, use its effect for the Reichphobia, activate the Reichphobia for the Reichheart. We'll then be able to special summon out the Reichheart, as we're going to use its effect in order to get the Arrival. Then we'll be able to go into the Cross Sheep, activate the Arrival, get back the Samsara, as it is Visa Starfrost in the graveyard. Then we can activate the Bestial Magnahut, and then we'll use the effect of the Magnahut so that we can get the Search in the end phase, as we'll bring back the Lightheart off of its effect. And then from here we can go into our Dispatter. We'll use the effect of the Dispatter in order to get back the Reichheart. We'll then be able to go into our Appaloosa, and then we can special summon out our Vicious from the extra deck by banishing the Visa Samsara and the Reichheart. And I know that this isn't necessarily the greatest, but it still is worth showing what you can do with the Bestial stuff, because with the Resurgence of Tyr, there is a chance that you may actually be mainboarding them. So when you have Samsara plus a Bestial, this is just what you have access to, and any other extender that you have will be able to build upon this empty Vicious that we have on board. Now for this next one, we have Visas and Kashtira Fenrir, and we're going to start here by special summoning out the Fenrir, using its effect in order to get the Search. Now do keep in mind that you can wait if you want to play around Droll, and just normal summon your Samsara out first, go into your Lightheart, get the Reichphobia. Either way, it's going to be rough if you do get Drolled. But that said, we're going to start here by activating the Reichphobia, get ourselves the Reichheart, as we'll special summon out the Reichheart, use its effect for the Arrival, and then we'll be able to go into our Cross Sheep, as we're then going to activate the Arrival, bring back the Samsara, as now we can use the effect of the Lightheart in the graveyard so that we can special summon it back, as we're then going to go into our Appaloosa. We'll then be able to activate the Scareclaw Kashtira in the hand, as we'll then go into our Vicious. We can then go into SP Little Knight, and like this, we have a few disruptions on board with the 3 Appaloosa monster negations. We have the effect to banish with SP Little Knight. If you're going second, this becomes a board breaker. Same with this, as this is just another monster disruption that you can get off of this combo. Now for this final combo, and I want to show off the Darth Veda stuff, is a normal spell card, Planetary Elegy, which reads, add 1 Darth Veda monster from your deck to your hand. If a face-up tuners you control is destroyed by battle or card effect while Visa Starfrost is on the field, and this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card, then target one of those destroyed monsters, add it to your hand. You can only use this effect of Realm Elegy once per turn. And this card is pretty nice just in the context that it's a searcher, and it also recurs a card, but at the same time, with how Meek and Calarium interact, where you want the Meek to special summon out one from deck and then Calarium special summons out the other, it's something that's going to pop up more on follow-up turns unless you happen to have the extra gas. But we're going to start this one by activating the Elegy, and we'll be able to get ourselves into the Veda up something, I forget the name of it in the TCG, but its pendulum effect reads, once per chain if a monster's is destroyed, place 3 counters on this card. This card's pendulum scale is increased by the number of counters on it. You can remove 12 counters from this card, special summon it. Monster effect reads, cannot be normal summon set, must be special summoned by its own pendulum effect. You can only special summon the big Darth Veda once per turn. Once per turn, if your opponent special summons a monster from the extra deck, except during the damage step, you can banish 12 cards from your hand, field, and or graveyard. Face down, it becomes the end phase of this turn. Once per turn, during your standby phase, return this card to the hand. Then you can special summon one of your Veda monsters that is banished or in your hand, deck, or graveyard. So this is how we will be able to get our turn skip, as we're now going to be able to scale the Veda, and then we're going to normal summon our Meek, as we're going to activate the Obsession. We'll pop the Meek, as we're then going to be able to get ourselves another search. We'll activate the Veda, as we do get the effect of the Meek that we pop off of the Obsession, which will give us the counters for the Veda, as then we'll be able to get ourselves the Calarium as well. Activate the Calarium, we'll then get ourselves the Visa Starfrost, activate the Visa Starfrost, which will pop the Meek, as we'll then be able to use the effect in order to get counters for the Veda, along with the Meek as Chainlink 2, and the Calarium as Chainlink 3, so we'll get ourselves 2 extra bodies here as we can go into our Lightheart, and now we have 6 counters on the Veda as well, as we're going to get ourselves the Reichphobia. We can then activate the Reichphobia, as we'll be able to get ourselves the Reichheart with 2 other defense position monsters on board, so we'll get ourselves the Search and the Draw, as we're then going to go into our Triscuta. We'll then be able to use the effect of Triscuta to bring back the Meek. We'll then go into our Amritara, use the effect of the Amritara. This will be able to get ourselves the Tier Limit Field spell, and we'll then be able to activate the Scareclaw Arrival, and then get back the Scareclaw Reichheart, as we're then going to go into our Axel, use the effect of the Axel to get back the Meek, go into our Baron, then activate the Prime Planet or the Primeval Planet, get ourselves the Visa Starfrost, activate the Obsession in order to special summon it out, as we're now going to use the effect of the Visa's Amritara, which will pop the Lightheart. Then we can get more counters on the Veda, as we're then going to be able to use the effect of the Lightheart. We'll then go into our SP, as we're then going to use the effect of the Baron, popping the Amritara, and now we can get the last 3 counters that we need so that we can special summon out the Veda using its effect from the Pendulum Scale, and now we can pass on to our opponent with a gimmicky little turn skip here that happens if your opponent special summons a monster from the extra deck, as long as it's not during the damage step. Now, with all of the combos out of the way, we can get onto the deck profile. Since my last Mannadium video, I don't think a lot has changed. It's just the 3 Visas Amritara, or the 3 Visas Samsara that I've put into the main deck. I think that, again, as stated, if you're playing this, it's going to be 3 or 0 unless you play Small World or something. Then I also would like to talk about Synchro Rumble. This is something that I think could be worth it, especially since you usually are going into the Crimson Dragon. So being able to get that search is pretty nice. You usually do have the extra space to do so as well, since a lot of people do double up on the Reichphobia and the Arrival. So that is pretty nice. Then I also would like to talk about the final 2 cards here that I didn't get to go over. The Quick Play Planetary Eulogy reads, target 1 monster you control and 1 effect monster your opponent controls. Destroy that monster you control, and if you do, negate that opponent's monster's effects until the end of this turn. Then, if Visa Starfrost is on the field, you can destroy that targeted monster. During your main phase, if a Veda monster card is on the field, you can banish this card from your graveyard, destroy 1 monster you control. You can only use each effect of Realm Eulogy once per turn. Then finally, we have Sarv Sarga. It's a trap card. It reads, if Visa Starfrost is on the field, target 1 effect monster on the field. Shuffle that target into the deck, and if you do, during the end phase of this turn, its owner can add 1 monster from their deck to their hand with a different type and a level lower than the level rank link rating of that monster. If a Veda monster is special summoned while this card is in your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can add this card to your hand. You can only use each effect of Sarv Sarga once per turn. Overall, I don't think that these cards will see much play, as I do think that the big strength within the Visas and Mannadium archetypes are just the ability to be able to 1-card combo with your heart and your Samsara. You also have your extenders to make your regular full big boards with just 1-2 cards and not getting too cute with it, while also having the ability to play all the going second stuff that you still do, even with the addition of the 3 Samsara, because if Bestials aren't good, you can always just change these up for something else, and that's just 3 extra slots that open up. Now finally, I would like to talk over some of the final options here before I get onto the card by card. I don't want to get too much into the main deck, as my Mannadium video from Post-Duelist Nexus still kind of holds to that, and everything that isn't talked about there is shown in this video throughout the replays. But to not waste your guys' time, I'm just going to talk about these 2. This is if you want to spend the extra deck space on the extra body to make your Visa Samsara 1-card combo a little bit stronger. The Chaos Archfiend is a cute little option that you have here, which can make really easy OTKs with the Vicious Astrolaud. As you saw with the Visa Samsara 1-card combo, you are going to get a level 8 Synchro, and it is a light tuner. So just being able to have the ability to gain 2000 attack and turn it into a 4500 beater where Astrolaud is 3,000, and then you have the Lightheart, which is 500. That's just exact game, and you can cheese out pretty easy wins that way. Then the Diabolantis for the Bish Balkan if you want to do that stuff. Same thing with the Hot Red King Calamities. You just have to think of how you want to adjust the extra deck to. In my case, I did want to add in the Dweller, so that's why I'm not playing the Hot Red King Calamity stuff. And I know that it's kind of weird to say that since one is a turn skip and one is a floodgate for the graveyard. That said, it really is up to preference since you're still making pretty big boards that can win on their own. And finally, I also would like to talk about Chengying. With the addition of a second Exceed monster in the extra deck, we did have to dump a level 10. And I feel Chaos Angel is easier to make now with Visa Samsara and the Triscuta. And the Triscuta, as you saw, is just a really good consistency card for this deck. Because say that your Heart happens to get Ash Blossomed or Impermed, and you don't have any way to answer that except Special Summon Meek, then you can just go into your Triscuta, and that gets you into the Amritara. So it's just one less choke point that the deck has, and that's what I really like about Triscuta. But outside of that, I'm just going to get onto the card by card, and we have the 3 Visa Starfrost, the 3 Samsara, the 3 Heart, the 2 Reichheart, the 1 Arrival, the 1 Reichphobia, the 1 Primeval Planet, the 1 Raid Soth, the 3 Calarium, the 3 Obsession, the 3 Meek, Rhoda, Synchro Rumble, the 1 Terraforming, Reframing, the 3 Imperms, 1 Thrust, 2 Talents, the 1 Scareclaw Kashtira, 2 Kashtira Fenrir, 1 Magna Hut, and 2 Druid Swarm. Onto the extra deck, we have the Abyss Dweller, Hope, the 2 Vicious Astrolaud, Triscuta, Amritara, Axel, Baron, Chaos Angel, Dispatter, Crimson Dragon, Lightheart, SP Little Knight, the Cross Sheep, and the Appaloosa to round out the deck profile. So for everyone who's made it this far, I'd like to thank you for watching and for the 600 plus subs. I truly appreciate your support, and now that we've monetized the channel, giving us access to supers and memberships means that more awesome stuff is on the horizon. To get the channel membership, just click on the description below, and there will be a link that takes you there. You'll also notice a free Discord link that I've made for us too. If you want to support me as a content creator, even if you can't donate supers or get a membership for the channel, clicking on those thumbs up and subscribe buttons help a lot too. For those wondering, I do plan on making updates to the channel as the support on the channel grows. Anyways, I hope to see you on the next one. It's Bones, signing out.